Marginal utility. If I'm without shoes, the contribution to the quality of my life of getting a pair of shoes is extraordinary. I cut feet, frozen feet, whatever, insects, whatever. So the contribution of the first pair of shoes is immense in terms of utility or value to me. The second pair, if I could have one pair, I'd choose a pair of work shoes. The second pair, I might like something a little dressier, a little nicer. It'd be great to have that, but it doesn't add as much as the second pair. And the third pair, it would be great to have, but I like brown and black and so forth. But the value that it provides me incrementally to my quality of life, it declines. And so there's the notion of marginal utility, the increase we get for additional items in a particular category. And then there's the notion of it's a shape like a curve like this. And economists don't talk about this, but it actually declines. Economists say that we're rational, so we would never buy a 12th pair of shoes if we didn't have a place in our closet, or the 100th pair of shoes. But it does decline, and there is a point at which we get too many things. It's a nuisance. That's a very important concept. And the point where that utility is maximized is called the point of satiation. And I beg your pardon? Satiation, where we're satiated. And that term takes more meaning if you think about that curve also as the number of drinks we have. And that's a good illustration of declining marginal utility, by the way. Now, what happens, or how do we describe someone for whom that doesn't decline? They're insatiable, but there's something, isn't there something kind of pathological, not always, but often, about that? That you have to have, like Imelda Marcus's shoes? Obsessive, exactly right. So in theory, or addiction. Somebody that's taking crack cocaine, there's never enough. The point of satiation is death. So there's this decline. So there's the notion that we should be able to take care of our most important tangible or physical needs on that curve. And if it goes on forever, there are reasons to have, there are people who collect shoes or who need them for their work, and there are Jay Lenos who collect cars. It's not just to drive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're insatiable, that's a problem. And I think for a lot of people, unfortunately, there is no diminishing returns for money. Now, if everything you want has a point of satiation, there ought to be a finite amount of money that's enough. And for me, it might be $100,000. For somebody else, it might be $100 million. But there ought to be some point. But I think for some, no amount is ever enough. And I say that's an addiction. What is it? The guy from Houston, Oscar Wilde, is that his name? He went to jail for bribery, a billionaire in his 80s. Why bribe?